Rolling again.
Okay, so thank you all for participating in today's training, where I'm going to teach you how to be a more engaged and informed constituent. My name is Deanne Porter, and I am currently a graduate student at Abilene Christian University, where I'm getting my master's in organizational development. When I'm not being a student, I'm working for the Texas State Legislature, specifically in the Texas Senate, and this is my third legislative session that I'm working in right now. This session has been really interesting, and the past session was really interesting as well, because we've seen a lot more constituents who want to engage with their elected officials but aren't sure how. So when they do engage, they're not doing so in a way that allows their voices to be heard, as well as they would be if they knew how to do so correctly. Which is why this training program was created. So that way you can identify who represents you and know how to communicate with them to ensure that your voice is being heard. So today, our learning objectives are to understand the importance of civic engagement, identify your representatives at the state and federal levels, and these are the individuals that represent you specifically, not the president or the vice president, people who represent the whole country, but people who actually represent specific districts within the state. You're going to learn how to engage with officials. You're going to learn how to research legislation at the Texas state level and learn about the legislative process and what elected officials can do for their constituents. Does anybody have any questions? So starting, civic education benefits society at large because it is correlated with economic resiliency and governmental stability. Civic education leads to civic engagement, which includes voting, volunteering, knowing what's going on in your community. Voter turnout has increased a little bit based off of the last midterm election, but it's still low. People tend to put more importance on midterm elections and presidential elections instead of local and state elections. All elections are important because these officials are representing you and making decisions that impact you directly at every level. But if you don't know about these elections, if you don't know who's up for election or who's going to be representing you, then why would you vote? This is especially important for local elections where there's school bonds or state representatives, because school bonds impact your taxes and state representatives are making decisions about their specific piece of the state which will impact you directly. This could be like city bills. I know there's a lot of different bills about energy or different types of districts that are popping up around cities. And so that's why it's important for you to know who you're electing, because they're making decisions about the area that you live in. This picture graph demonstrates civic life in America, and it compares how Texas does to the rest of the United States. Despite the size of Texas and the diverse population that we have here in the state, we are still one of the lowest ranking states for connecting with our elected officials, for just general voter turnout. I think this number is really significant because although about 62% of people are registered to vote, only about half of those people actually vote. And that's really important. Voting is so important. It's the first step to becoming civically engaged. Does anybody have any questions about this?
Leandra, on that 9 to 12%, what is that?
These are contacting your elected officials.
So 9% of Texans
Are contacting elected officials out of the 12, the United States as a whole is more active in this.
Do you think that Texas is so low because it's such a big state, a lot of rural counties?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I think that probably is part of the problem, because the districts that a lot of these officials represent are really large. Like, for those of you from Lubbock, your state senator represents 50 counties, which
Wow.
is huge. The senator I work for represents 10, which is already considered massive. And as a senator, he represents, all state senators represent about 1 million people. With the new census that's going to be coming out in 2020, that number is going to be over 1 million. So I think part of it definitely does have to do with the size of the district and the amount of people that are being represented by one individual.
It's not all doom and gloom that there are low percentages of turnout, because while it's very important to be engaged, very important to know what's going on, very important to vote, there are those who should not vote.
We're hoping to change that today, Uncle Mike. A little bit, just a little. I'm not saying you're wrong.
And they know who they are.
The next picture graph shows social connectedness. So Texas is not actually terrible here, especially when we're engaging with our neighbors. We're 16th in the country for that, so yeah, good job, Texas. And even though we're only 42nd for volunteering, I don't know. The percentage-wise, it's still not as terrible. It's only 2% off from the rest of the country. But this, again, has to do with being civically engaged, because if you know issues that you care about, whether they're political or social or just, religious, charitable, or educational, if you know what's going on with the issues that you're concerned about, it's more likely that you will look into organizations that will help you engage, you will volunteer, and it'll start the cycle of having you become more engaged outside of just voting or just speaking with your representative. It's more than that. And the benefits are that your community will be better served. You're looking for the betterment of your community as opposed to, just feeling disenfranchised with politics. If that makes sense. Does anybody have any questions about this? So national polls consistently show that not a single national political leader is viewed in a positive light, and confidence in our political institutions is at record lows. I think there are a lot of reasons that people feel this way, but it's really important for you to become engaged with your elected officials, with your community, so that way you can start affecting change. If you like what you're seeing in government, you need to let those officials know that they're doing a good job. You need to let them know how they can continue to do a good job. If you don't like what you're seeing, you need to let those officials know what they're doing wrong. You are the boss of the people that you elect. And if you're not giving them a performance review, they're gonna just keep doing what they're doing. If they're elected officials, their one main duty is to serve their constituents, to listen to their thoughts and their concerns, to make sure that they're voting as they should be. That's the biggest job. Does anybody have any questions about this? Okay, so the first step into engaging with these officials is knowing who your officials are. And in a moment, we're going to be doing a training activity where I'll be breaking you up in groups of 2, so that way you can look up your elected officials, but I'm going to demonstrate that for you first. So there are different levels of elected officials. The ones that I put up here are the ones that represent you specifically based off of where you live in the state. For federal, you have 2 U.S. senators and 1 U.S. representative. At the state level, you have 1 senator and 1 representative, and locally, you have county commissioner, mayor, city council members who represent you. And we're going to be looking at your officials, though, at the federal and state levels. So to do this, you will go to the Texas Legislature online, which is a really good tool, and you'll find the Who Represents Me section and type in your home address or the address that you are registered to vote under. And you'll click search, and you will be taken to a page that populates all of your elected officials. Everybody, if you're from Texas, which you should be, will be represented by Senator Cornyn and Senator Cruz, who are your officials at the federal level. They're your federal senators. And then the rest will kind of populate from there depending on where you live. And then you can choose whichever elected official you want to know more about. So I chose the senator. And this page will provide you with information about who this official is. It gives you a picture so you can actually see who represents you. You can know what they do when they're not being a full-time, when they're not being a part-time legislator, what qualifies them to do the job, background info, how long they've been in the legislature, their political affiliation. This has contact information, and this provides you with updates about what's actually going on in the legislature. And then here we'll provide you contact information, what they do in the Senate, since he's a state senator, and then their district analysis, which shows which piece of the state they represent, and then just general information about the district. So, we'll break it up in groups of two. Does everybody feel comfortable doing this on their own? Maybe Donovan can help right now.
Yeah.
So Donovan, you'll be grandma. Abby can have my be together. Dylan and Toya, Tish and Chris. I'll let you guys be together. Savannah, you can do it with my mom. You guys can be, okay, yeah, a whole little trio. Yes, you need your phones, I'm sorry.
I do, I'll come to you.